moon.
Hello there, I'm Tom from That's No Moon, and today I'm going to talk to you about deployments and objectives. I'm going to show you 5 of my games and talk through the choices during deployment. I've used the last few battle reports I've made, so feel free to go back through the videos and see how my game plan worked out. The first game, we played advanced positions, key positions and clear conditions. I've marked out the deployments and the KPs on the screen. As always, we have the middle point, which this time was the down T65. As Reese was the blue player, he placed his by a small rock formation near my long edge of the table. And then I chose to put my KP on a barricade away from Reese's army. This all but guarantees that Reese won't be able to get to it because of the deployment that we're playing. You can see before we deploy that we discussed the terrain, and I would encourage anybody to do the same before you play a game. After seeing Reese's KP, I decide that I'm going to deploy all of my Tauntauns and Luke to be able to try and challenge this point. At the start of deployment, my game plan was to focus on the middle KP and my safe KP. The reason that I changed this plan is that having 4 Tauntauns is such an aggressive play style that it serves me better to try and get into Reese's lines and stop him moving on the middle. Once all is deployed, you can see that I've left a vet and a Mark II on the barricade at the back so that I can move up the Mark II to the middle key position, and then the other vet and Mark II can move and do the same on the middle. Luke and the Tauntauns are primed to move towards Reese's list and his key position, but they're a little bit more flexible in the speed that they have. In game 2, I played my friend Neil's Rebel Hero list. We played Long March and key position again. This time I've got an Iden Inferno Squad snipers list, and Neil chose to use the Lambda shuttle as his key position, and I chose the small silo by my deployment. I deploy my Imperial Special Forces near the middle so that they work like a deterrent. They've got the threat of tactical strike, and they're at a good vantage point for this. The squad is also in a good position to be able to defensively move to the key position in turn 6. With Iden, Inferno and a sniper, you can see that I have great line of sight on Neil's list and the areas that he would be moving towards the key position. My mortar is deployed next to my key position so that I can keep that safe. The bikes are there to try and thin out Neil's units on their way up to the middle. The core are there so that they can move and claim on the middle objective if they need to. Game 3, this is bombing run with bikes. My plan was to have all of my bikes with the bomb as they're all speed 3 and you get a triple move with the compulsory, so I can get to Rob's deployment zone quite quickly. My plan is to deploy the bikes as far away from Rob's gun line as possible. You can see in the deployment that I have 2 line of sight blockers, so I decide to see where Rob will place some of his list before deploying all of my bikes. I place one bike in the middle to see where Rob commits his gun line. Once he's committed, I place the other 2 as far away from that gun line as possible. The plan with the middle bike was always to get it to go to whichever side Rob doesn't deploy his army. I also have a defensive gun line with the Inferno Squad, ISF and Iden in front of where Rob's bikes and bomb carriers are. If I can kill one of Rob's bomb carriers and get him to drop the bomb, then this should secure me the win. In game 4 I was playing Wookiee Defenders, and this turn 0 came up fully trumps for me. We ended up on limited visibility, long march and recover the supplies. The reason that this is good for me is that I have a melee focused army. Everything has recon intel so I can get close to the boxes early, and then with limited visibility I can move on the middle box on turn 2 with a move and a claim, and then any shots that I will defend, which was almost exclusively from the tank, with the Battle Force effect, if I lose a mini I get to make another move, and by the next turn I'll be able to double move away and out of range of the rest of his list. Luckily for me, Tom decided not to infiltrate Maul this game. If he'd put Maul towards the middle box, it could have been a different story. Game 5 we played clear conditions, battle lines and key positions, straight out of the core box. I had a 13 activation Ewok Defenders list. The advice that I would still give you is to focus on 2 key positions. I deploy all 8 of my Bright Tree units and Leia on the left hand side so that I can try and contest Reese's key position. I have Han Solo and 3 Rebel Corps on my right. My thoughts are this: if I can get Reese to commit a lot of his forces to keep his key position safe, it would leave minimal units to be able to take care of the middle key position, and then I can use Han and my rebels to try and clear them up and move to the middle. I think turn 0 is massively important in every game, and you can win or lose games based on how well you deploy. During the turn 0 decision, I would suggest taking your time and thinking about what would work best for your list. This might sound obvious, but I've found that some people think about what would be worse for your opponent's list instead. I hope this video has helped you with my thought process on turn 0 deployments. Until next time, may the Force be with you.
That's no moon.